This is a huge problem for millions of channels across YouTube right now because creators are struggling to understand why their views are dropping. It's not the algorithm, your niche, or your competition. It's AI, and it's changing business on YouTube fast. I've seen this across my own channels, client channels, and even SEO data on websites that I own. It's happening because viewers' behavior is changing. So we must adapt. Here's the problem. AI is sucking up a huge amount of pure information that used to live on YouTube. People can now ask AI the same questions that your videos answer and get a fast, clean response without ever clicking a video. Educational channels are being hit the hardest, especially business-related advice channels built around explaining things. But AI is terrible at nuance, context, and real experience, and that's exactly where YouTube is most effective. So there are 5 things that you need to focus on, starting with the first. AI can generate answers instantly, and most of those answers come from the same content that already exists online, including videos like yours. So if all you do is explain things, you become replaceable. What AI can't do is show new, real results, like this from one of my other channels. It can't show you what actually happens when you improve a thumbnail. It can't show you in-depth analytics, screenshots, and revenue, or explain the smaller details that actually made the overall strategy work in the real world, and why. I've seen this over and over again when working on channels behind the scenes. 2 videos can explain exactly the same strategy, but one of them shows real data, real results, and what actually changed, and that always performs better. Even small things like showing how one thumbnail change doubled views makes the advice feel real instead of theoretical. It's the kind of detail that AI just can't give because it only sees the final answer, not the process. So the point here is simple. You need to show proof and link it up with the third point that I'm about to make. Don't just give generic advice. People trust evidence more than information. So if you want educational content to work, you have to prove what you're saying is really useful and grounded in experience, which leads me on to the second thing, what you need to focus on here. When you give someone information, they hear it, but when you truly connect with someone, they believe it, remember you, and want more. Now, AI is very good at giving step-by-step answers, which means basic explanations don't feel as valuable as they used to. However, that human connection that really matters comes from a very human experience. So what is the best way to create that? Share the experience, tell the story, actually show the viewer what happened as part of their learning experience, because the viewer is already curious about what happened and what went wrong and what changed and why that lesson actually matters. So let them feel it properly. This is exactly what I do with some of the uploads on this channel. For example, when I talk about growing this channel, I don't just give tips, I show actual uploads that worked, that didn't, and why I changed direction on previous channels. That makes the lesson much easier to understand because you can see the decisions happening in real time instead of just hearing the theory. And that's exactly the kind of content people come to YouTube for now. They're not looking for perfect answers, but real experiences. Simply put, stories make information believable in a way that AI can't. AI can explain how something should work, but it can't show you the moment that you realize the advice was wrong or what you learned from trying it yourself. That's why story-based education is getting stronger, but it's not the only reason, because AI gives general answers, but the most powerful results come from the finer details and context, particularly when it comes to YouTube. Different niches behave totally differently because they have totally different audiences, different ages, different beliefs, budgets, strategies, needs, and tolerances for the way information is presented. For example, a 40-year-old business owner looking to take their results to the next level will not tolerate a video presented like a Mr. Beast video. The nuance really matters. I see this all the time when analysing channels. The same advice can work perfectly for one creator and completely fail for another, simply because the audience is different or the goal for the channel is different. A channel built to get views behaves very differently to a channel that's built to get clients or sales. AI usually gives one clean answer, but in reality, there are multiple ways to do something, and the right choice depends on your situation. That's also why deeper experience-based content is becoming more valuable, not less. AI often presents pure information that sounds good and right, but in reality, it's way off. Whereas subject matter experts can explain the trade-offs, the exceptions, the mistakes, and the details that only show up when you've actually done the work yourself. This is where educational YouTube still has a big advantage, especially if you know what you're doing. So don't forget to subscribe for more specific, nuanced help like this if you own a YouTube business yourself. Fourth is a very human element that, quite frankly, AI just doesn't appreciate. People often come to YouTube after asking AI some surface level questions or after watching other videos on the same topic. So if your video sounds like everything else they've already seen, then they leave. It's also why certain formats that used to work die out and don't get the same views anymore. It's why your content needs to feel new for the viewer. This is also why formats that used to work easily, like simple tip lists or basic tutorials, don't get the same results anymore. People have already seen them or they've already asked AI. The videos that stand out now usually show a different perspective, a real result, or a lesson that people didn't expect. When the viewer feels like they're about to learn something they haven't heard before, they stay. Consider the title and thumbnail on this video. You probably haven't seen many other videos like it yet, right? Packaging ideas from a different perspective or displaying results that they haven't seen before helps viewers see the importance of watching your content. Challenging the status quo can be another great way to do this. But if you do, just make sure that you've got the data and the experience to back it up. And finally, a point that relates to one of the biggest mistakes I see right now. A lot of creators' businesses expect every video to do the same job. AI is reducing the demand for first touch educational content, but serious viewers still want deeper explanations, systems, and real strategy that has been proven before they buy anything. So if you only chase views, your business suffers. And if you only teach basics in public, AI will replace you. You must have a strategy that tactically plans separate content for different jobs. Some videos are for reach, some videos build trust, whereas some videos generate sales. When I look at channels from a business point of view, the videos that get the most views are often not the ones that make the most money. The videos that actually generate sales are usually more detailed, more specific, and attract a smaller but more serious audience. AI is making the difference even bigger because basic education is easier to get than ever. And that means your public content needs to bring people in, but your deeper content needs to build trust. The channels that are working now understand the difference and make content for both strategically, as I explain in this next video here. Check it out.